Why did I get a tactical shotgun? I'm not a tactical shotgun guy, never owned one before this one. And I saw it for two reasons. I needed a high capacity shotgun for pig hunting, because where I live in the South, wild pigs are quite prevalent. They destroy property and they're everywhere. So sure, you can hunt them with bows or you can hunt them with an AR, but I think that this is the most suitable weapon for hunting pigs. Okay, it's good close range work, and it allows for maybe not so accurate shooting. Number two, home defense. Doing some studying, you know, the AR-15, while I have a couple of them, and that's more than suitable to defend your home, I also like my neighbors. And when you're traveling just under or right around 3,000 feet per second with a 55 or 62 grain or something like that bullet, more than likely that's going to go through your walls into your neighbor's walls. With a shotgun, a little bit different story. Number two, juries, for whatever reason, tend to favor folks who use a shotgun over an AR-15 because they just don't know. So they look more favorably if you defend yourself, even with something as deadly as this, using buckshot or slug, which will do horrific damage. You might get a more favorable judgment if you have to defend your home using a tactical shotgun. So, having said that, the Stoeger M3000 Freedom Series Tactical Shotgun. This is made in Turkey. It's owned by Benelli, which Benelli is, of course, owned by Beretta. So it is a clone or a knockoff of the Benelli M2. I've only just briefly used tactical shotguns in my life, not really into them until, again, this is the first one. I haven't put one round through this thing, but to give you a quick down and dirty on it, it's an 18.5-inch barrel. It's got an extended tube, so the capacity in the tube is 7 rounds, and you can put one in the chamber. You can also ghost load around, so you could have 9 total rounds if you want to. I'm not going to go into that too much. You can research that on your own. Polymer stock, rubberized buttstock. It's got a little pinhole here where you can add a swing swivel for a sling. Also at the front, the trigger safety has got a cross bolt right there, just like you've probably seen many times. So right behind the trigger, you know, push it for go to work and then off for safe. Excuse me, what the, oh, know your firearms 101. So the bolt here, I don't know what's going on. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. I don't know what's going on with that one. I must have done that myself. So extended bolt catch right there. And it's also got a bolt release, a pretty nice big pad. I would say that almost pushing an inch long, maybe about 3/4 of an inch. So you can release it there. The rear peep sight sight, and a red fiber optic front sight. So pretty nice features overall. It seems fairly light. I think that I'll probably put maybe 100 rounds through it today and see how it runs. Again, I'm not a tactical shotgun guy, but I just want to see functionality. I've got the ammunition I've got today is just Winchester 2 3/4 inches double-aught buck, you know, with 9 pellets. Something I want to make a point of, this is not a gas gun. It's inertia driven. So from what I understand, this is going to dump quite a lot of energy in the shooter as you're, as you're shooting. So some folks complain about that it's putting 100 rounds through, it's going to be a long day on your shoulder. So we'll see about all that. I wonder about that. Maybe I need to oil it a little bit because it is just right out of the box. So it might be bone dry, but I didn't want to hide anything from you. Okay, let's take a look at this Stoeger M3000 Freedom Series Tactical Shotgun. Okay, let's see how the first rounds through this thing look. So I've got a steel target downrange here, about maybe 15 yards, and I've got some poppers right here, but I'm just going to shoot this steel target for a little bit. Woo! Not bad. It does rock a little bit, but a barrel heats up pretty quickly. So I'm going to go reload and get to work. Okay, next up in my completely unscientific review of the Stoeger M3000 Freedom Series self-defense or tactical shotgun. I've got just an old white t-shirt stretched over a target frame, and I'm going to shoot it with two different types of ammunition. The first one is this express buckshot, 2 3/4 inch. You can see right there, double-aught buck, and we'll take a look at the pattern. And then for folks who just grab any old shotgun ammo, here's some sport competition load and see what that might look like. Again, very unscientific. I'm going to shoot it from 20 yards, so 60 feet, which is more than 3 times the distance of a typical engagement for self-defense or maybe a home intrusion, right? Now, also what I have downrange are some cinder blocks. And while you can look up probably a million different videos on what ballistics do to cinder blocks from all different types of calibers, what I'm going to show folks is just, again, the consideration of using a shotgun for home defense for over-penetration, right? So if you're shooting, if you're in an urban environment where I live, typically I've got a neighbor, about 45 yards away and another neighbor on the other side, 25 yards away. Using a 5.56 or even greater, maybe not the answer. So, okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Got a fresh t-shirt on that little steel frame, and I've got double-aught buckshot loaded up and ready to go. I'm going to take a shot, and then we'll look at the t-shirt afterward to see what the spray pattern looks like. Okay, so here's a look at that double-aught buckshot from 20 yards. You can kind of see the spread here. There's where the wad hit him. But if you count the holes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all 9 hits on that from 20 yards. Again, I'm not under duress and this isn't a moving target, but not a bad spread. I don't have a ruler on me, but that could be about 16 inches from here to maybe up there, at least a foot, and same thing across. So, a good blast radius right there. Not the best shot, but still it gives you an idea. Okay, so I've got a fresh t-shirt ready to go. I've got that sport target load, and we'll take a shot and see how it looks. Okay. All right, so here's the second go around with that sport competition load. You can see that the t-shirt is just peppered with I don't know how many holes, right? Those little BB sized pellets have just shredded it, and a much larger spray pattern as well. So from 20 yards, you're going to get some, and not fun. Of course, fatal at 20 yards. Yeah, it most certainly could be. But of course, it's diminishing returns when you get up around 150, 100 yards or more. But for self-defense inside your home, if you want to use this, for sure, it would be effective. It would be effective. Of course, do a lot of damage to your home, but that's the least of your concerns. All right. I have zero budget for this, so I don't have any ballistic gel dummies or anything cool to show you. But I've got some old cinder blocks, and I don't know what the hell these are. I picked them up at the supermarket, some kind of gourd, and we're going to call them Carl and Joseph, that are taking cover behind this cinder block wall. And I'm going to go downrange about 20 yards and take a shot with both the double-aught buck and the competition load and see if this is adequate cover for these guys. Next up is that sport competition load, and I'm just going to aim center mass. Now, of course, that's not, there's a crack in between those two cinder blocks, so if a pellet happens or a few pellets happen to get through, of course, we'll know. But let's just see if this offers any sort of cover for these two guys. So let's take a quick look. Not really much damage. There's some peppering on that cinder block right there, but it really didn't do much. And I don't see any damage to these gourds. And these are just like little warts or something on here, but there's really no damage to these guys. So this cinder block from 20 yards proved to be adequate cover, at least against that sport competition load. Now we're going to take a look at the double-aught buck. Part 2, we're going to use the double-aught buckshot from the same distance, 20 yards. I'm going to aim center mass, and let's see if it does any more damage to this to these two cinder blocks. Significant more damage done to the cinder blocks from just one shot from that double-aught buck. You can see just around here, there's a little bit of the chunks of that cinder block blown off. And of course, yeah, I aimed right between there, right in the center of it. So, not sure if any of these guys still sustained any damage, although I'm not willing to test that theory out myself. I think if you put a couple more slugs or a couple more rounds through there, that might blow a hole right through there, and that would degrade their ability to use this as cover. So for sure, the double-aught buck is more effective. But still, neither of these guys sustained any damage that I can see. Okay, so we know that one round of double-aught buckshot will not suffice to reduce this wall. But much like the most famous question of our time, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? How many rounds of double-aught buckshot will it take to reduce a cinder block wall to get at two evil communists hiding behind it who tried to break into our home? We're going to find out with a full load, 7-in-1, on our Stoeger M3000 tactical shotgun. Join me, won't you? I just rewatched the video, and it looks like about three rounds of that double-aught buck did a pretty good job. 4, 5, and then 6 just completely reduced this to rubble, and just you can tell that Carl here, he's probably had it. So there's an entry wound, I think. Maybe that's the entry. That's probably the entry, and that's probably the exit right there. And as he rolled away, another round tore right through there. So he's not good. Joseph looks like he escaped unscathed. So he hid behind a little bit of the rubble, but not so bad. But regardless, you can tell that this is significant damage from double-aught buckshot. So now there's a lot of things, we're not drywall and wall studs and things like that. So cinder blocks, okay. But nonetheless, it's a good test. Change of scenery. I was chased off the range by a rainstorm that came in, and I tried to wait it out, but I decided to pack it up and come on home and finish my review of the Stoeger M3000 Freedom Defense Series tactical shotgun with an 18.5-inch barrel. So we're in my tool shed. And while my thoughts are fresh in my mind after 100 rounds, I thought I'd put them together for you, give you some things of what I didn't like about this, what I did like about it, and then my overall recommendation. So to start off with the negatives, because I like to end on a high note, I'm all about ergonomics with any gun that I own. Pistols, shotguns, rifles, ARs, I like ergonomics. I don't care for where the safety is. Now, it's right here. It's a crossbolt safety right behind the trigger. I get that ever since we were kids, and air guns all have the safety location right here. I don't care for it for a tactical shotgun, and here's why. You have to remove your finger from the trigger, go back and activate it like this, and then get back on. I wish it were up here on the receiver. That would be the ideal location, or maybe forward, right there, where my finger is. So you could activate it and then go right back in. Minor thing, I know this is a mouse turd. It's just me. Again, I'm an ergonomic type person. I can't help myself. Next, what I didn't care for, I do like, and I'll speak to this in a minute, nice big raised sights. This is plastic. While it's metal in here, the ghost ring sight is metal and it's got windage and elevation adjustments. These wings are plastic. For a tactical firearm, whatever it might be, AR, your pistols, whatever, they get in and out of vehicles, you're banging into stuff. Plastic has a tendency to crack or get broken. I can even pinch it together with my fingers. This may be the toughest stuff on the planet. I don't know, but I wish it were iron. I like iron sights, metal sights on my firearm. So again, a minor thing. Next, this butt pad, this recoil pad, it really didn't offer much at all. It's rubberized, but I'll probably end up changing this out. Even after 100 rounds, I felt like it wasn't all that great. There are some other folks who did reviews that don't like this doesn't have much grippiness to it and things like that. I didn't have any issues. I was wearing gloves a lot of time, and I consider shotguns low volume weapons. You're not going to be putting hundreds of rounds through it, or you typically in a firefight or something like that. If you're using a tactical situation, maybe if you run through it once, you maybe do a tactical reload and then the fight's over by design. Things I liked about it. Again, ergonomics, I'm big on them. Man, that bolt release, that is a pad and a half. You can't miss that. Really, really good the way they built that. That's probably over a ½ inch long, and I don't know, maybe who knows how wide. I don't have my ruler out there, but very well done here. I do like the charging handle, nice and big, sturdy, no issues whatsoever. It's light. It's about 6.75 pounds out of the box, and it feels much lighter than that. It's maneuverable. I had no problem transitioning to targets. For a big, long gun, and again, if you're used to an AR, it just felt good, even when fully loaded. So I like the feel of this shotgun. I think they did a very good job with it. Back to the sights. Even though I'm grousing about the synthetic or the plastic sights, I like that they're raised. Now, you guys are shotgunners in tactical shotguns. I looked it up. This is very common, but I like to grip the front end of the shotgun or a rifle or whatever it might be. I like to put my hands around it instead of having to cup it like this. With my thumb wrapped around it, I could still see my front sight post and through my ghost ring sight in the rear, which is great. Now, I don't have the thickest fingers, and even with gloves, I was able to still see my sights. So I do appreciate that. This is designed to go to work. It is designed for use in a tactical environment. So I just don't think you can get as good of a seat unless you wrap your thumb around. Just the way I feel about it. It could be a me thing. James from TFB TV just recently did a review of a Stoeger M3000. When he pulled his out of the box, he had to assemble it, and he tried to do a 5,000 round burn down. The gun started falling apart, failure to feed, failure to fire. The stock was rotating. He had to stop his review. Not so with this shotgun. This comes fully assembled from the factory. This is the exact gun they pulled off the shelf at the local gun store for me. So there's no assembling. I just want to make sure that folks, that if you're doing your homework and you're like, man, I got to put that together. Absolutely not. Not with the Freedom Defense Series tactical 18.5 inch shotgun. This comes as is. And I noticed nothing coming loose after only 100 rounds, but it performed perfectly well. Again, 7-in-1 capacity. You can ghost load around for 8 rounds. It shot very well. I had a lot of fun today out on the range. And would I give my recommendation for this shotgun if you don't want to spend $15, $17, $18, $2,000 on a Benelli shotgun or a Mossberg? If you want to go with a Stoeger, this version of a tactical shotgun, absolutely, I would recommend it. Again, I spent $625 on this, and I feel it was very much worth it. So, if you like this video, please let me know down below. If you didn't like it, I appreciate feedback. If you really like what I do, if you like my other videos as well, go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, but it lets me know that you like what I'm doing, and it inspires me to get out there and do better the next time for my next reviews or something else. All right? Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching, and be safe on the range and have a good day.